Welcome to Lisa Marie's Cooking Live. I hope that you are having an amazing start to your week. Thank you so much for joining the broadcast. Tonight, I will share with you how to prepare an amazing American favorite, Italian favorite, spaghetti and meatballs. So we're just going to call that the American Italian or the Italian American favorite in most homes across America and across the world. Everybody loves meatballs and spaghetti, and there are so many different ways to prepare meatballs and spaghetti. I'm going to share with you a little twist that I put on meatballs and spaghetti, and I hope that you'll enjoy it in your home. So let's get started. What we're gonna do, and I wanna tell you, when you get ready to prepare meatballs and spaghetti, your sauce is very important. Hi, thank you so much for joining the broadcast. I love a good sauce. I like it to be nice and thick, not runny, so it sticks to the spaghetti. And I will also share with you different ways. Hi, Therese, thanks for joining. Don't forget to like the video if you find that this recipe and my cooking live has been beneficial to you and your home. Like the video, and don't forget to share it with your friends and ask them to come on over and watch Lisa Marie cook live here in her kitchen. And also, if you're not subscribed to Live Subscribe, you want to make sure in your upper right hand corner you click Live Subscribe so you don't miss any of my broadcasts. Hi Mel, thanks for joining. You can share the video while we're actually live before I actually get started cooking. But we are going to have fun tonight with meatballs and spaghetti. I will also share with you how to make a really good garlic bread, so you can impress not only your family, but your friends. Invite them over for some meatballs and spaghetti and some garlic bread. Who loves meatballs and spaghettis? Do tell. I love meatball and spaghetti. Thanks for joining the broadcast. I'm so happy that you're joining me tonight here in my kitchen, and you will enjoy this recipe. Now, I've measured out several things. I'm not a measuring person, but because I do live, I measure a lot of things so that you can replicate this. Hi, Gerald. Thanks for joining. So nice to have you on the broadcast. Shout out to Gerald. He does amazing t-shirts. So if you need a t-shirt, hit Gerald up right there, Gerald Pearson. Hi, Lisa. Thanks for joining the broadcast. I'm going to be 400 pounds after I finish watching all your yummy recipes. No. You will not be 400 pounds. You will not be 400 pounds, Lisa. But I hope that you do enjoy the recipes. Okay, this is what I want to share with you about your marinara. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get my water boiling really good for my spaghetti. Again, so you want to make sure your water is boiling hot before you put your spaghetti in it. For my marinara, I'm using a large jar of whatever I can find on sale. But usually it's a brand name. Hi, Ramel. Thanks for joining. If you can find one that has like chunks of tomatoes in it, that's great. If you can't, buy a good ragu. Well, not so much ragu, but there's so many different brands out there. And this is not ragu. But find a good marinara sauce that you enjoy and make the spaghetti with that. Ramel, tell Jay I said hi. All right, so we're going to turn this on. Now, what you're going to do with your marinara is add some spices to it to make it taste absolutely amazing, and some fresh veggies. So what I have is, I know it seems like a lot, but it's a tablespoon of Tony Chachere's. If you're not familiar with Tony Chachere's, this is Tony Chachere's. I don't always use this, but sometimes I like to use it because it has all of the ingredients in it that I need. So here's a list of some of the ingredients in Tony Chachere's, so you can see it. it has a lot of the good spices that will make any dish taste good. Yes, oh girl, wouldn't miss it. Thanks, I'm so glad you wouldn't miss it, Therese. So anyway, I have a tablespoon of Tony Sachet, and when I sprinkle it in here, it's going to seem like a lot, but really it's not a lot. Because also what I'm going to add is some tomatoes, some additional tomatoes. Love that seasoning, still got mine from the last visit. Great. I also have about a tablespoon of fresh chopped garlic. I have some spices. This is dried parsley. This is a teaspoon of dried parsley and a teaspoon of dried basil. I'm going to put that in here. It's going to be good already. And I have about half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I'm putting 3 dried bay leaves. I love a lot of spice, y'all. And I'm also going to use, not a lot, just 1/4 teaspoon of some cayenne pepper to add a little additional spice. And now to balance out all of that savory, we're going to use a little sweet. So I have a tablespoon of some sugar. And we're going to stir all of that together. I know it seems like a lot of additional spices in here. You can totally just buy a regular tomato sauce that's already, spaghetti sauce that's already ready. I'm just going to do a little taste, y'all. That tastes good, and it hasn't even started cooking yet. So I know it's going to be good. All right. Make sure you write all that down so you can replicate it. All right, also what I am going to do is I have one 14, 15 ounce can of some stewed tomatoes, and I just take scissors, my kitchen scissors, they're specifically for the kitchen, and I'm just going to cut these. Just to cut them up a little bit. It makes it so much easier when you cut it like this. Or you can take each one out of the can and individually slice them, but I don't like doing that. I just like having chunks of tomatoes in my tomato sauce. Anybody else like to have chunks of tomatoes in their tomato sauce? So I'm just going to dump that in here. And that's the base for a really good tomato sauce that's going to be great for your meatballs to just bathe in. And we're going to get to the meatballs in a second. Now I also have about a 1/2 cup of bell pepper that I've cut up and a 1/2 cup of onions. So we want our tomato sauce to have some substance, some chunks in it. If you don't like onions and you don't like bell pepper, just totally eliminate this part. You do not have to have the onions and the bell pepper in it. But I love seasoning, and it's going to marinate really well. Hi, Kurt. Hi, Elaine. Thanks for joining. Yes, it is a good evening. So let's see just how chunky does this look. Look, it's pretty chunky looking, right? And we want this to cook for about another, we're going to say about another, it's going to cook all in all about 30 minutes. Hi, Dorinda. Thanks for joining. Hi, Stephanie. Thanks for joining. Oh my gosh, did you stay cool today? Thank you so much for that tour with my son. Good idea to use scissors to cut the stewed tomatoes. Yes. Hi, Trinice. Thanks for joining. Don't forget, you see that share button below? Share this video with all of your friends and tell them to come over and watch Lisa Marie prepare some amazing spaghetti and meatball right here in the kitchen. And like the video. Okay, so I'm going to keep this on like a medium heat and just cover it for a minute. Now my water is really boiling. It is boiling. Look at that. So what we're going to do here is I have a 12-ounce pack of spaghetti. You can break these in half like this if you want to, or you can keep them long. I like twirling spaghetti on my fork. So I like them to be long. So I'm going to put it right here in the middle, and then I'm going to release it, and look at how that spreads in the pot. Isn't that awesome? One of those little tips that you might want to use. Also, what I'm going to do, it's going to go down. What I'm going to do is put about a good couple of teaspoons of salt in there. And I'm also going to add just about a tablespoon of olive oil. And that's going to help it not to stick together so much. Yeah, so let's just push these down a little bit, because as they get soft at the bottom, they'll go down into this pot really easy. And I'm using, this one has a way for me to drain the spaghetti once it's cooked. So we'll let that just boil for a minute, and let's get over to our meatballs. Time to make those delicious, yummy meatballs. Aren't y'all curious what I do to make my meatballs taste so yummy? Well, I'm putting a little twist on it. It's an Italian-American thing, but down in New Orleans, we like a little spice. Can I get an amen? I love spice. I hope you love spice, because I put a little spice in my food. All right, let's see here. So, everything you make is awesome. Thank you so much, Romel. Thank you so much. Mwah. I love you too. All right, let's see here, y'all. Let me show you what I got going on. All right, I have some hot sausage, and I have some ground beef. Hi, Felicia. Thanks for joining. So I have about a half a pound of hot sausage and about 1.5 pounds of ground beef here. That's my meat. Hi, Reginald. Thanks for joining. You ready to eat? You know I'm ready to feed. I love feeding people. I absolutely love feeding people. As a matter of fact, if you stop over here and I don't have any food ready, I will cook for you. That's just the way we do it in New Orleans. We're hospitable, hospitality. We love feeding people. And I hope you love eating. All right, so what I like to do is I like to make my own breadcrumbs. So you can go to your local grocery and you can buy some stale bread, or you can buy a loaf of French bread. I like to use a French bread when I'm making my own breadcrumbs. So what we're going to do is I have my food processor right here. If you don't have a food processor, that might be a good investment for you. Or you can use panko breadcrumbs, so don't fret about it. I just like making my own breadcrumbs. So I'm just going to put this in here. All right. And we're going to pulse this and make some breadcrumbs. I have a piece that does not want to break up. It's time for you to break up. Here we go. So if you have never made your own breadcrumbs, check it out. That's how you do it. Some really yummy, delicious breadcrumbs here. There's nothing better than having fresh breadcrumbs. I just ate now. Okay, I'm driving from Los Angeles. I'll be there in a few hours. What kind of tran are you on? AirTran? Reginald, I want to see that. I want to see you make that happen. Let's see. Lisa says, I just ate now. You are making me hungry again. I'm good. Good. I'm glad I'm stirring up an appetite. I hope everybody else is getting their appetite stirred up. Make your family some meatballs and spaghetti. This is good. And it doesn't take a whole lot of time to do that. All right, so I'm going to use the processor to process some of my seasonings that I will be using. I'm just going to dump the breadcrumbs in here for right now. And then we're going to use that in our meatballs. All right, so let's get this food processor going again. All right, now what I'm going to do is I have 1 cup of bell pepper, 1 cup of onion, and about 4 cloves of garlic that I've already cut up in here, some fresh garlic. And I'm just going to dump that in my food processor because we want to create some moisture for our meat. We've got 2 different types of meat. That is going to give lots of really good moisture. The hot sausage, which has pork in it, and the ground beef. This is believe it or not, this is like an organic lean ground beef, so I do need to add some moisture. Hi, Emily. Thanks for joining. Lisa, is that sausage you use in your yummy hamburgers? Yes. I made some really good, yummy, spicy hamburgers, and I used hot sausage. Yes. You can, if you live in Texas, you can get Savoys, or I don't know if they have patents, but a lot of times at Fiesta, they'll carry a good hot sausage here that's like, it's soft. It's not a hard hot sausage. And we use soft hot sausage in New Orleans. So what I want to do is, so that has my veggies in it. And I am going to just pulse that first. We want to chop it up. We want this to be chopped up really well. And the reason why I do it really well is because I want all of the juices to come out of those vegetables to keep my meatballs nice and moist. So I have 2 eggs. You can use an egg for each pound of ground beef or meat mixture, however you decide to combine your meat. You can use an Italian sausage, any kind of pork sausage. You can do like the pork breakfast sausage, but I would recommend that you use a fresh, like Italian sausage or like a hot sausage. Yes. Let's see. What did you say, Trinice? Trinice said, I stopped using breadcrumbs long ago. I use oatmeal in the meatballs and meatloaf. It makes it moist than breadcrumbs, and it tastes so good. You should try it too. I have. I like that too. And the reason why I like doing fresh breadcrumbs, Trinice, is for that very reason. Because breadcrumbs that you get in the store are so hard. Like these are so soft. They're just soft because it's bread. And it's soft, soft, soft. So it'll add some additional moisture to the meatballs. But thank you so much. If you haven't tried oatmeal, try it. Both Trinice and I have done it, and it works. It's an option. It's a substitute too. Okay. So I have 2 eggs. You can totally use 2 eggs for each pound, but I'm not doing it. I'm only using 1 egg for each pound. So I'm going to dump that in my food processor. I also have some salt and pepper that I want to put in there. So we're going to do about a teaspoon of salt, about a good teaspoon of pepper. Let me grab my red pepper, y'all. So I want to add about a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and I want to use about a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. And we're good. Hi, Jan. Thanks for joining. So I am going to pulse this again, just to get my eggs mixed up in it. Now we have a really nice base for our meatball. So we're going to take our bowl and we'll dump our meat in here. And then the other thing we want to do is just mix our meat together a little bit to incorporate the hot sausage and the ground beef all together with our hands. Trinice, I'm going to try it your way too, Lisa. Thanks. That sounds like a plan, Trinice. Yeah, you'll be surprised that when you use fresh breadcrumbs, it's totally different from using dried breadcrumbs. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add all of this moisture here into my mix of meat. And I am going to just mix this around. Don't be afraid to use your hands. You don't want to over mix it, and you don't want to undermix it. So I'm just mixing it together. It's going to be a very moist meatball. There's going to be nothing dry about it. And I'm going to add some breadcrumbs too. Give me a second. Let me rinse my hands right quick because I want to measure the breadcrumbs for you. All right. So what I have, it's probably approximately 2 cups of breadcrumbs. But let's measure. We're going to make sure. So let's see. It's about 1 cup. And we're going to do 1 more cup. 2 cups. And that's it. We don't need any more breadcrumbs. And we're going to mix this together. But because we want our meatballs to be really moist. You see, I'm not really like just mixing it all. Really. Hi, Brian. Thanks for joining. So now we've got a good mix of the bread. We want to make sure all of our bread is incorporated with all this moisture. See, when we put the bread in there, it took all that juicy moisture that we had in here is absorbed into the bread. Hi, Gail. I mean, into the, yeah, it went into the bread, and now it's all in the meat and the bread. All right. Okay. So let me show y'all what that looks like. It's all mixed really well together. Hi, Donnie. Thanks for joining. That's my brother, Donald. So we're going to go back over here. Let's see how our spaghettis are doing. We want to make sure our spaghettis are boiling. They only need about a good 15 to 20 minutes to boil. Okay, let's take a look at our marinara or our tomato sauce. That is looking good. Look at that. Y'all see how good that's looking? I wish y'all could smell what I smell. Okay, what we're going to do is scoop our meatballs and put them right here in the sauce. What I have is I have a scoop. You can get you a scoop. Depending on how big you make your meatballs determines how long it's actually going to cook. You can use a larger scoop or you can make a size that everybody is comfortable eating. Personally, I love big meatballs, but because we don't have a lot of time on the broadcast, I'm doing a smaller meatball. So you just take your scoop, scoop out some of the meat mix, and you gently just roll it together. And then what we're going to do, this is nice and hot. When we put this in here, it's going to keep it nice and round too. This is a very soft and moist meatball. And we're going to repeat that until we have all the meatballs in there. Once you get used to doing this, it'll go pretty quickly. Call when you're finished and it's ready. I know that's right. Hi, Mom. Thanks for joining. We're doing delicious, yummy meatball and spaghetti. And we're using hot sausage and ground beef. Look at that. These cute little balls. Aren't they cute? So don't forget to share the broadcast. You can do that while we're live. Ask everybody to come on over and watch me prepare some delicious meatball and spaghetti. And because our marinara, our sauce here is nice and hot, it's going to cook this pretty quickly. And we will drain our meatballs. This is going to serve your family. This is going to serve, I want to say an estimate of at least, it could serve at least 5 to 10 people. So it's great for a dinner party. Might be something that you want to consider for a dinner party. You can even use this recipe to make meatballs to serve at a dinner party, like just meatballs. Some people will bake their meatballs. I'm not the baking meatball kind because I like round meatballs. And when you put the meatball that has so much flavor in your sauce, what's going to happen is all that juice is going to get into your marinade. So your marinara is going to have some really good flavor coming from the meat as well. Remember, we've got garlic, bell pepper, and onion inside of our meat as well. So, and we've got tomatoes. We've got stewed tomatoes in here. We have flavor coming everywhere. And if you watch the broadcast again, you'll see all of the seasonings that I used in it. Once I finish putting this in here, the meatballs are going to cook for, I want to say, at least a good 20 minutes. But what I'm going to do is, they probably won't even take that long. But let's see here. And then I'm going to show you how to make that garlic bread. We'll get that ready. Traditionally, what people will do with meatballs and spaghetti is they will have it with a salad, like a Caesar salad. But we are not having it with it. You might have to move your meatball over just a little bit to fit another one in, but that's okay. Just add it in. We're almost done with our meatballs. That didn't take very long, right? This is a meatball and spaghetti dish. And you want to make sure you use a large jar of spaghetti sauce when you get started, because you need to make sure you have enough sauce to go on all of your spaghetti. Hi, Virginia. Thanks for joining. Virginia is a real estate agent. So if you want to sell your house or you're interested in buying, reach out to Virginia Franklin right there. She's a real estate agent, and an amazing real estate agent at that. She knows her stuff, and she will be good to you and good for you. So y'all remember, look for Virginia Franklin. Reach out to her. If you know anybody else that's interested in buying a house, tell them to call her. The market is hot right now. Okay, so we have all of our meat here in our marinade, and don't worry about it if a couple of them are sticking up. It's okay. And we're going to cover it again. We don't want to stir it too much. I have it on like a low to medium flame. Give me a second. I'll be right back. I'm going to wash my hands. All right. Let's look at our spaghetti. Let's see what our spaghetti is doing. It's looking pretty good. We want it to be al dente, so we don't want it to be hard when we bite it. We want it to be, we don't want it to be too soft when we bite it either. So al dente is kind of like in between a hard and a soft. The best way I could tell it. So this has probably another 5 minutes. But in the meantime, let's get started on our garlic bread. You're welcome, Virginia. Absolutely. Okay, so what we're going to do is, let me move this out of the way. All right, what I have, we're going to make, show y'all what I'm doing. We want to make some butter that we can spread on top of our bread. Some butter will spread on top of that. What I have in here, and you totally don't have to use this combination. Be creative when you're going to make your garlic bread. I'll do this sometimes, and then sometimes I will add like a different seasoning to it. But in here I have 1/4 of a teaspoon of some cayenne pepper. I have a teaspoon of parsley. I have a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper and a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And that's what I have in here. Then we're going to use about a 1/2 stick of butter. So let's put that in here. And we'll just mix this together. And this is going to go on our garlic bread, on our bread to make a garlic bread. We're also going to use some garlic. I'm going to put about half a teaspoon of garlic. So you're going to use granulated garlic for this. And that's it. And that's going to give it a nice garlicky taste. Just a little FYI, a lot of times when you use like dried seasoning, they're so much stronger in flavor than fresh. Not always, but a lot of times your dried herbs like parsley, basil, oregano, rosemary, the dried form is pretty strong. Here we go. All of our seasoning right here in our butter. So I have some bread I picked up at the deli, fresh, and I cut it. It's a French bread, and I cut it in half. And all I'm going to do is I am going to spread some of this butter on my bread, just like so. It's going to be delicious, y'all. You can make a whole bunch of this and put this in your fridge, or put it in a plastic bag and put it in the freezer. Duh. Anybody want garlic bread? I've lined a baking sheet with parchment paper. I want to get all of this out of here, so I'm just using a spatula right now. Okay, so then we're going to spread again on our bread. And when we put this in the oven, the butter is going to just melt into the bread. It's going to be good. Yummy. All right. So I put it on a broiler setting when I put it in the oven. And we're going to put our bread in. We want to make sure everything's ready about the same time. So let's check our meatballs and see how they're doing. And our spaghetti is looking good too. I think our spaghetti is done, so we're going to turn that off. And I just like to lift this up a little bit, let the water drain off, and I tilt it. That's basically, oops, let me show y'all what I'm doing. I drained the water out of here, and I'm just tilting it just so the rest of the water can drain off of that. And then a second, I'm going to sprinkle it with a little olive oil so it doesn't get sticky. All right. And let's take a look at our, what did I do with my spoon? The spoons just get away from you. Okay, so now the meatballs are getting firmer. So I'm just going to stir it around a little bit so the ones that were on top can actually get in the sauce. Like so. And we're going to cover that back up. Voila. Oops. I didn't want that to happen. All right, let's see here. So what I'm going to do is I am just going to put a little olive oil on here, on my spaghetti, so it doesn't become sticky. So it'll stay nice and warm because I have it above this pot. Just want to make sure you tilt it well so it doesn't fall back in. Mine's just fell back in for a quick second there. Hi Margie, thank you so much for joining. So what I'm going to do is I am going to put my bread in the oven on a broiler setting about 5 minutes before the spaghetti is ready. So I kind of wish that I was doing some kind of dessert too. Who likes dessert? I love dessert. So who's going to go make meatballs and spaghetti? And who has a different twist to their meatball and spaghetti? Tell. It's probably going to take at least another 5 to 10 minutes before that is done. So what I'm going to do is I am going to come back and post a picture of how delicious the meatball and spaghetti look. You know, one thing I do love to do is I love to taste my food live. But sometimes you're not always able to, because some things take a little bit longer to prepare than others. Let me tell you what I really wanted to do for y'all tonight. Stuff them with shrimp. Ooh, that sounds really good. I have never stuffed meatballs with shrimp, but I bet that is good, Mel. Yes, indeed. Giving me another idea, girl. I wanted to prepare a bolognese for y'all. Shrimp balls? Yeah, I like shrimp balls. I do like shrimp balls. A bolognese, but with a bolognese, and I can tell you, one day maybe I will do it, but with a bolognese, what you're going to do is you'll have basically similar ingredients, but you don't put the breadcrumbs in it. You can use a couple of different sausages that you like. You can use a bacon. And with a bolognese, it's very Italian. With a bolognese, you're actually going to use fresh carrots that you'll grate up, your onions, and you'll use garlic. And then you're going to take that and you cook it down for a little while until all of the seasoning basically becomes clear, translucent, almost to disappear. And then you're going to add your beef in, and you'll let that cook for another hour and a half maybe, in with your seasoning. And then you're going to take your wine, whatever your favorite red or white wine is, you'll take that and put that in it, and then it cooks for another few hours. So can y'all imagine cooking that live? That is just not going to happen. But I can tell you that it is so delicious. It's worth an all-day event. And then after that, when your bolognese is just about completely done and ready, you're going to add, back up a little bit, because when you put your wine in, you can use like a milk, maybe like a cup of a vitamin D milk or a cream, and you mix all that in and you cook it for you can cook it all day. The longer you cook it on a low heat, the better it is. And then you'll take it and put it on top of a spaghetti and dust it with not really dust it, but put some flakes of parsley or celery on it. Celery is another herb, another vegetable that you'll use in it. And then that is going to be delicious. Let me see. I think our meatballs are just about done. Let's take a look at them, y'all. All that talking, I can definitely talk. I can talk a hole in your head. Now this is not funny. I lost another spoon. How did I lose another spoon? I think somebody's taking my spoons. Did anybody see what happened to my spoon? Let's grab another spoon. I'm almost out of spoons. What happened to it? Tell you the truth, I'm not going to be out of spoons. I have lots of spoons. All right, so let's take a look and see if it's getting firmer. Yes, our meatballs are looking so good, y'all. That's what I'm talking about when you have like a round meatball. Look at that. See how nice and round it is? So when you put your meatballs right in your sauce, it's going to stay round. I think we have maybe another 5 minutes on our meatballs. Let's go ahead and get our garlic bread in the oven. And then I think we'll be able to taste those yummy meatballs live. So I'm going to put my oven on. Did you have a good weekend? Did everybody have a good weekend? Let's see here. I am going to put this on a broil setting. And I want to broil it, I guess, for maybe about, we're going to let it heat up, but I will broil it not very long. I'm just going to set a timer of not even 5 minutes, but I'm going to do 5 minutes because it has to heat up. And now let me get my bread. Y'all know I could eat French bread at any time of the day. I love to have French bread with my coffee. It's what we do in New Orleans. But this is the bread. This is the garlic bread. It's going to go in the oven. It's got all those green specks in it. Yes, indeed. Laugh out loud. So we're going to put this in our oven. It's getting ready. I want to move my shelf too. I really don't want it to be on the top, the very top, because it will possibly burn. So I'm going to just move this to the middle. And we are going to get that in here. That's gonna be good. It's gonna be so yummy and delicious. I know it, I know it, I know it. If you have not subscribed to Lisa Marie's Cooking Live, in your upper right hand corner, there may be a live subscribe. You wanna subscribe so you don't miss any of my broadcasts. And it would be amazing and absolutely wonderful. It would mean so much to me if you would share the broadcast and ask all of your friends to come over and watch Lisa Marie cook live here in her kitchen. And also like the video. It helps our ratings to go up. I've got a surprise coming in August, and you don't want to miss it either. And your friends won't want to miss it either. But let's see here. So we got our bread in. We're going to get ready to start plating. I love that part when it's time to plate, because I get a chance to eat. Now remember our marinara. We prepared all of our ingredients and put all of that in our marinara before we actually put our meatballs in there. And then we put our meatballs in there. And our spaghetti is not going to be sticky. You see that? And it's nice and warm. Let me see. Perfect. Perfect. It has the right amount of salt too. Got to have a little salt in that spaghetti. All right, let me get my plate. You don't want to go too far from your garlic bread either, because it will burn on you in a split second. Nobody likes burnt garlic bread. I know I don't. You know, when you're cooking beef, just like a hamburger, some people like their beef medium. Some people like it rare. I like mine well done. So the meatballs, within about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I would say at the most, your meatballs are going to be ready. Perfectly ready. I don't want to put my spaghetti on here until my bread comes out of the oven. I like everything to be nice and hot when I eat it. You know, sometimes when you fix breakfast in the morning and you're serving your family, everybody's sitting down to eat breakfast and you're still preparing coffee. Have the coffee ready. Oh, it smells good, but it's not quite ready yet, y'all. It's getting a little brown around the edges. So what do y'all want to see me cook here live in my kitchen? Any suggestions? Hi, Amanda. Thanks for joining. I hope you had a great weekend, lady. I do hope so. I really enjoyed spending time with my family. It was the week before the 4th, but it was good to go home. Good to go back home. Let's get my glove. I want to inspect this bread. Just look at that. Around the edges, it's nice and crispy around the edges. Yeah, so I'm gonna let it go probably for another minute, and then we'll take it out. Oh, great. I'm glad, Amanda. That's wonderful. All right, so we've got like another minute on our bread. Sometimes you just have to be patient when you're in the kitchen, because you just know when it hits these taste buds, it's gonna be so good. What I am going to do is I am going to See, there go that buzzer. That buzzer went off. That was my warning signal saying, don't leave me in there beyond 4 minutes. It's good. It's perfectly ready. Now I will cancel that, turn that off. Take a look at this yummy garlic bread. Does anybody want a piece of garlic bread? I know I do. So we have to cut that garlic bread. I'm gonna have to get a knife and cut it. Not that I wouldn't enjoy eating a whole piece, but I'm gonna share it tonight. I am not going to eat the whole slice of garlic bread. But garlic bread is so yummy, delicious. All right, so let's get our spaghetti. And we're gonna put that on our plate and get our meat, because our meatballs are, I'm sure, ready. So we'll put some spaghetti. I mean, you just decide how much you actually want. Something else that I like to do is I actually like to take my sauce and put it in with my spaghetti, or put my spaghetti in with my sauce. Something is missing. Trinice, I never made crawfish bisque. My aunt was supposed to show me, but she died before she could. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Can you prepare some? Crawfish bisque takes so long. I don't think that's something that I would be able to do live. That takes quite a few hours to do, Trinice. Yeah, that's cooking with a lot of love, and I definitely believe in cooking with love, but that's a great suggestion. It's a lot of work. Oh, yes, it's definitely, because you've got to clean all the heads of the crawfish out, and you've got to make all of your mix that goes back into the crawfish head, and then you stuff the crawfish head back. So, girl, we're talking about hours of work. I think I would be sweating. I know I would be sweating on that one. Okay, let's see. All I can say, y'all, is if you haven't prepared meatball and spaghetti in a long time, just look at this. Look at that. Anybody want some meatballs and spaghetti? This is some good stuff, y'all. Look at how perfectly round those meatballs are, too. And you see all those chunks of nice bell pepper, onions, and garlic in there. You want everything to be seasoned well. I'm going to taste it and tell you how well seasoned it is. Okay, let's see here. I'm not going to be greedy. I'm only going to use one meatball. Because we do have to. So I am just going to keep this on a low fire because my meatballs are prepared. They're ready. Meatballs and spaghetti, anyone? Anybody want meatballs and spaghetti? Just do the stuffing. Oh man, look at that. Well, it's not right until I put my garlic bread on, so give me a minute. Where is my knife? I have a knife, y'all. I like to use a serrated knife when I'm getting ready to cut my bread. Yes. Okay, so let's cut us a piece of garlic bread. How about 2 pieces? Now, that is meatballs and spaghetti and garlic bread. Yummy. Let's taste this bad boy. Y'all know how I love to taste food. Oh, I don't want to forget about this. How could I forget about this? I've got some fresh Parmesan cheese, and I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit on top. Look at that. It's raining Parmesan cheese. Who likes fresh Parmesan cheese? on their meatballs and spaghetti. Now, I know this meatball is like so tender, fork tender. Look at that. And it's cooked. It's cooked on the inside. I want to taste this. Dear Lord. Oh my gosh. You can taste that hot sausage. So good. So good. Let's do the spaghetti. I like to twirl and twirl and twirl and twirl and twirl. I want to make sure I get, look at that sauce. Look how it's sticking to that spaghetti, y'all. This might get a little messy, but it's okay. Yes, indeed, baby. Let me tell you. This is good. This is so good. Y'all heard that crunch? That's the crispy edges of that garlic bread. All I can say is make this recipe at home. Your family is going to love you for it. Easy, 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 yummy, yummy. Meatballs and spaghetti. So, I hope you've enjoyed being in my kitchen this Monday night. And remember, every Monday night, this is live. Sit us all outside in the audience. Yes, indeed. I'm on 10 freeway. Put mine in the oven. I got you, Reginald. Trinice, it's going to taste even better tomorrow if there's any left. You said that right. Yes, indeed. Any of my neighbors watching? Y'all want some meatball spaghetti? You know where I live. Come and get you some. I'm not kidding y'all. This is a good recipe. This is one of those no-fail recipes, so you want to do that. But remember, every Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, Lisa Marie is cooking live in her kitchen something delicious. Don't forget to share this broadcast. Much love to you for sharing this broadcast. Ask your friends to come on over and follow me. Watch me cook live every Monday night at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And like the video. Y'all have a great week. And remember to always, always, always keep God first in your life. It's the best thing that you will ever do. I'm not next door, but I might drive today. Come on and drive on over. Oh, no. Bye, Teresa. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining the broadcast. Y'all have a good week. Thanks. It's been great. Yes, it has been great. Oh, much love. I enjoyed you too, Trinice. Thank you so much. And I love that oatmeal option. Remember that, everybody. Bye. Y'all have a good night.